Hey, everybody. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new here. Going to get our topic for the day from the Wisdom of the Oracle. Oh, we just had that one. Hold on. Try again. Try again. It was to be fair. And I swear, look at how many cards are in here. And we keep getting the same ones over and over again. That's why I said I feel like there's just a collective thing going on. New life. Oh, sweet. New life. I mentioned yesterday how we just went through the Pisces new moon. And we're coming into the astrological new year, which means that really we're kind of wrapping up 2024 still energetically. Like, will it just go away? I know that depends on how your 2024 went, but one of the things we're being asked to do is to believe without seeing. Dream big and believe without seeing. And it has to do with our belief systems. And that's something we touched on yesterday. One of the things about creating a new life and believing without seeing is needing to have that strong foundation within us, just like the inverted energy. And we can unknowingly limit ourselves just based on our beliefs. And when we believe that we cannot reach a certain level or a door is not open to us for whatever reason, and a lot of that goes back to, again, conditioning. It can be societal. Like, imagine if you were in a country where, as a woman, and you may not be a woman, but bear with me, it's an example. As a woman, you didn't have any rights. So obviously, as opposed to like a woman in the United States, you wouldn't be dreaming big about getting a corporate job or being able to take on the leadership position or opening your own business because you don't have that opportunity where you're at. And a lot of this new life creation can involve just changing where you're at. Your location can dictate so many things about your life that if you stay here, you don't have that opportunity. However, if you're willing to get out of your comfort zone, which it takes a lot, but get out of your comfort zone and go to a new location, even if you happen to be in a small town that doesn't have a great economy, jobs in that area don't pay well, it's going to be very hard for you to elevate yourself to your highest potential if the resources aren't available there. And that would be a time to look at, where could I go where there are greater resources? And I say that from a position of someone who's done that, and it was scary. It was scary. Um, I was 28 years old. I had never lived farther than like 10 miles from where I was, like the house I grew up in. This was where I'd spent the entire 28 years of my life. I'd traveled, but that was my home base. I lived next door to my parents because I'd been a single parent, and that had been, so I really definitely had a comfort zone. I moved 1,800 miles away, took one of those new location jobs, which was pest control. And I had moved to Arizona, and if you are familiar with the pests in Arizona, a lot of them can kill you. But it was like a complete change of everything. And if you are pondering doing something like that, let me go ahead and tell you up front, the first few weeks are going to suck. They're going to suck. My God. So I found my new apartment and I got moved in. And this was on a Saturday. Monday morning, I went to my new job and I couldn't find my apartment after work. This was before Google Maps. Okay, don't just, it wasn't that I couldn't follow my phone. We still had stupid phones and MapQuest, which might run you off into the woods. It wasn't all that reliable. But so I get off work and I'm tired. It was a rough day. It was August in Arizona, and I'd been learning how to kill black widow spiders and scorpions, and, yeah, a little outside my comfort zone. I'm getting ready to go home, take a shower, and rest, except that I can't find where I live. Talk about a moment. I literally drove for an hour crying. I drove around for an hour crying because I didn't know where I lived. All my stuff was there. I just didn't know how to get there. I finally ended up stopping at a gas station. Like, I got myself together. I stopped at a gas station. I'm like, dude, can you tell me where these apartments are? And he looked at me kind of funny. I'm like, no, legit. Like, I just moved here and I went to work and I can't find my house. So, big change is not necessarily easy. However, it does help you grow. Fortunately, thereafter, I rarely forgot where I lived. But it's that stretching and changing so many things all at one time that it really opened my eyes to, wow, like, but through that, again, I grew. I was able to really establish myself in a new community, make new friendships, got into horses, all kinds of cool stuff that I could not have done where I was. And that's actually what led into my management position, which again, I could not have done where I was because the place that I was leaving had a dying economy, had an increasing crime rate, very little opportunity, and it was not getting better. And I could see this coming, and I had a child that I didn't want that to be his only option. And I thought, well, if I can move to a more lucrative place, which at the time Arizona was booming, like Maricopa County and everything was just like growing out there. So I thought that is a great place to try and find better opportunities. So, anyway, just to share that about this new life thing, when you are ready to create a new life, if the opportunities aren't available where you are, get creative. Dream big. Don't look at where you're at right now as, this is all that's available. We live on this big thing called the earth. And if you're here, all of this is still there. And I'm teasing. I know that's very sarcastic, but it kills me when people are like, there's no opportunity. Well, you've been within a 25-mile radius of where you're at, so maybe not there. Keep going. Dream big. And again, it's about changing our beliefs about what is available to us, what is possible for us, and believing without seeing, having that faith in the higher power that when we step out there, we are supported. And especially right now, we are supported in changing our belief systems and changing what we believe is possible for ourselves. We limit ourselves through the conditioning of our environment, of our culture, of our gender, of our race, of our socioeconomic status. These things are all just labels, and you can peel those off and replace them. But you got to start here. Yeah, back here. That's where all that is programmed in. And when we change the way that we think, and it's an involved process, but it is so worth it. When you first start trying to redirect your thoughts, it's like it's like trying to manage a toddler on crack. Toddlers are almost like they're on crack anyway, but this is like legitimate a toddler on crack who's just like, ah, uh, that's how your brain is when you start to discipline it because you've let it run rampant for however long you've been here. That takes a while. And at first, it's exhausting. However, if you're consistent, we've talked about consistency and commitment and daily habits and how much power there is in changing those things through the consistent daily actions. And if you have certain thoughts that when you think about expanding your life, a certain belief, old belief, limiting belief comes up, redirect it. What's going to happen? We have what's called neuroplasticity, where we can redirect the neural pathways of our brain. So right now, when you think about expanding, this shoots off, but you're poor. And that's where this needs to spout back. That was my story, but that's not who I'm becoming. I am rich. I am wealthy. So what's going to happen is the more you redirect it, you're going to shift that neural pathway. It's like flipping the switch on a train track and redirecting the train. However, train has a whole lot of momentum. You've spent a lot of time building the old neural pathways, and this applies to anything that you want to change about the negative repetitive thoughts and limiting beliefs. Anything that comes up for you, if it comes up consistently, write it down and write down how you're going to respond to it, because that way you're not all day trying to yank your statement out of your head to redirect it. Because, like I said, it does get exhausting. Or focus on one specific thought that you want to work on instead of trying to stop them all or change them all at once, because that's like having 12 toddlers on crack. It's just worse. find find what works for you. For me, I wrote the thought down on a 3x5 card because I'm old school like that. I love my 3x5 cards. And I would write the repetitive thought and I would write my response to it. I carried multiple copies of this. I had one in my car, one in my pocket, one in my office, one at home. Like, I just carried it everywhere because I wanted to have it available so I could stay on top of it. And what happens after time, consistent daily actions, it's forming a new habit. We had the old habit nailed in after years of doing it repetitively, daily, and consistently. So to change that going forward, we have to do it repetitively, daily, and consistency until that becomes the new habit. And so, oh, there we go. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, once you have established these new neural pathways, you will default to the positive. And when you do that, it helps you create different brain chemicals. So now, instead of constantly producing cortisol and other stress hormones, you're more likely to have dopamine and yeah, I can't right now, guys. It's really early. I wanted to try and do this while the dogs were still sleeping. Apparently, part of my brain is too, but that's okay. Um, so yeah, new life. Believe that you have opportunities available to you. Believe that you are capable of becoming what you desire to be. Don't look for the evidence in your environment. Believe in your heart that it's possible for you, because what we see around us right now is what we created from what we did before. From this point forward, and a lot of times we'll start saying something like, well, I'm poor. Up to this point, I haven't had the financial resources available that I'd like. Because from this point forward, you can choose something different. And then when you get 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road and see what your reality is there, that's because you chose that moment to start making new choices. You chose that moment to commit to changing your belief systems, changing what was available to you, changing what was possible for you. And that, my friends, is how we create a new life. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this helps, and I will talk to you soon.